All right, it's Tuesday, May 4th, and we're going to go look over here at the S&P. Pretty wild day today. So a couple of things coming out of the Globex session. We had, if you, couple of things here. This morning, so if you go back and you watch yesterday's video, we said that there were still lower targets and we were still expecting to see lower overall. This morning at the open, they probed up here and they probed this 50% fib. All I did is I drew a fib here in between this CP and this KP. They probed that to the 50% level and then it dropped. And it dropped quite a bit from there. So initially we warned that you got to kind of watch this area, maybe this 55 area. That didn't really turn out to be much of a factor. It just kind of, the market just kind of went right through that. So I'll give you a tip on how I like to handle that and how I personally like to trade it. So what happened, I just switched over to a 2-minute chart just so we can see what happened here. So when the market's coming down here, I'm looking for it to accelerate and look like and basically run out of steam. And I just didn't see that. It did happen down here at this 35 quarter, and I was actually long from down here and just a scalp back up to here. I mean, it's crazy because this to there is 15 points, so it doesn't look like a lot, but it really was. And so I want it to accelerate and run out of steam, and that to me looked like it happened down here. So I liked that. And then what we said was, yeah, there was some bouncing possible, but ultimately, you remember where we said right down here. This was 20. Low of the day is 20 half. So it came down here within 2 ticks of that. So close enough. And but really the opportunities that I see here are really a couple of things. So these are trades that I have shared a couple of these. So we get this big move down through here, and then it goes down to here, and then it retraces right there. This to me is what I'm in my trade journaling. I'm calling this a momentum type of trade. So we zoom through a price and we come right back up here and test it. I want to get short for my next target down here. Now, depending on the market, am probably not going to get from 48 down to 20 all in one big push, but this did give me from 48 down to 35, so 13-point move there. So that's one kind of trade that I'm working on personally, getting better at taking. It zooms through, it comes right back, getting short right here. And then these are really the obvious, to me, these are just sort of obvious no-brainer trades where you want to be shorting on a retrace back up to here. And then it came down and put in a low right here at 20 half, just in front of the CPs, 2 ticks in front of the CPs, so pretty great. Now let's look at what happened the rest of the day and into the close. So actually in live trade signals we bought right here. So when this came down here in the right before the close, in live trade signals we bought right here for the target up to there. So this was a nice 14 pointer, pretty easy. And if you're wondering why we bought there, I'll show you a couple of different things. But if I draw the fib in here, here's the first level at 42 quarter. It just probed it. And then so I had that, but then there was this little, you see this right here? So that was the first thing I was looking at, but then see this is like just a little bit of a demand area right here. So right in here. Let me erase that so you can see it better. So right here, and it came right back down in here, held that, and then took off, and then really just ripped out of here. And again, hopefully you're noticing something here. So what happened was big move, a nice break, pullback, test. This is a momentum trade, and then moved up to the CP, probed through it. Now let's look at where this went to. Can you read this right here? The high is 62.50. So 41.62.50 50. Let me show you something from map that we talked about earlier on. So in map, notice something here. We said right here at 7:22. Let me just show you what time that was and then what was said here. At some point we should retest 54, 57, and 63 area depending on timing. So let me show you something here. So that was at 7, just a little after 7 o'clock. The market was way over here. Let's actually get this right. What time was this? Let's just call it 7:20. It was 7:22. So right here. Market's over here. We came all the way down here, but we told you before that in map that we should come back and test 63 and the high of the day 62.50 on the bounce back at the end of the day. It's not random, okay? So there's some things with that. So couple of good opportunities here today. Nice opportunity to get long down at the bottom. Oh, one other thing I wanted to point out in map is we said, let me find where that is, right here. So at 9:17 that they would need to take out 29 or 27 for lower. And that was at 9:17. So I said that back over when it came back up above here. So that's like over here. And said it would need to take out 29. And if you look at this swing low right here that happened at 9:48, about 30 minutes later, this swing low is 29.50. So we thought the bottom was in, and then we had to move back to 29. They held 29, and then that took off. And also we said a move up above 38 would get us back to 55 plus. This was really the break up above there. So this move right here was to 39, and then that held right over here. Held for this move back down to here to 29. So we said if they broke 38, it was going to 55. If it broke 29, it was going lower again. So they came up to 38, held 38 by a point, came down to 29, held 29, and then came back up here, broke 38. It's going to 55 minimum, probably this CP, even 63. Okay, so they held this, broke, came back, ended up holding 35 half, by the way. If you want to know where that was from, just look back over here. So the big rip down and it stalled right here. There's going to be some support in there. By the way, if you can't see that, let's just draw this on here so you can see this. Look at where it traded back up to here and then where it fell from and then held up here a little bit right there. Back and forth, held, broke above it, held right there, came back, held right there, and then off to the races. So you could have literally been buying here off 35 with a target of 55, 20 points. And you knew that was coming because we told you if it broke 38, it was going to 55 hours before it happened. So kind of a no-brainer there. And we called the target of 20, you know. So if you didn't watch the pre-market video, then we did say right here, this was... So this is in the pre-market, right here, 6:20 a.m. Pacific time. There's your targets, eventually 20 area. Well, here's the low of the day at 20 half. How's that? Happened 2.5 hours after we called it. So pretty remarkable, I think. If you can't figure out how to make money with that, I don't know. So that's a little bit of a review of map. Hopefully that's helpful. Let's do this, and can we jump over and look at tomorrow? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so let's look at tomorrow, but let's do it on a 5-minute chart. This is a little tricky. So some consolidation area in here. We've got this. You You notice we had like, I think it was 79, 75 for today, and then for tomorrow we have 80, 75. So kind of interesting in there. I wonder if they're going to try and come back up in here and test this, and that'll be important to see. But look how close all the prediction points are up here. There's a lot going on up here, so it'll be really interesting to watch up there. And then there's quite a bit going on down in here, and then below there, below 05, really starts to open up, okay? So tomorrow might be a bit of a breather. 4100 would be that first area through there. So tomorrow might be a bit of a breather given the way that today went, and the market might need to kind of digest this a little bit. And that's certainly what prediction points are telling us is going to be happening, that probably not going to be ripping anywhere if prediction points are at all right. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be back in the morning. I'll do the pre-market walkthrough. Hopefully you made some money today and that was helpful for what we went over this morning. And we will see you back here in the morning. And again, as always, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, then subscribe so you get notified when we go live, so you're not missing these and the pre-market videos. So see you back here in the morning. Enjoy the rest of your day.